Welcome to the What Lies Ahead podcast, where we explore everything related to the hardcore scene and community. I'm your host, Chris Raffini, and I'm joined by George and Wes from Deadshot, a Long Island hardcore band that's been making serious waves in the scene since their formation a year ago. They've just dropped their new EP, Not a Shot, on 51st State Records. They've also played all over the city and Long Island and are part of a new crop of bands that define the Long Island scene today. I'd like to welcome Wes and George of Deadshot to the show. What's going on, guys?
Hey, what's
How's
going
it
on?
going?
Thanks for being on. So I guess to get started, I guess how I got to know you guys was through Dean from No Redeeming. I got to know Wes about a year and a half, 2 years ago. Just happened to see Dean at a Metallica show, and he was literally next to us while we were tailgating. So I caught up with him, and he got into how Wes, you played drums for No Redeeming about a year or two ago, a couple of shows in Brooklyn and I think in New Jersey, and just the ironic proximity of how close you guys are to me. I'm on North Shore. You guys are North Shore, Long Island. And then really from there, you guys just took off with your band and just started writing, released an EP, getting to know everybody. And honestly, the EP kills, by the way. It's an awesome EP.
Oh my.
So what I want to start with both of you is talk a little bit about what led you to hardcore, the music that you liked and that it built from there in terms of hardcore. So go ahead.
So as you mentioned, I played with No Redeeming Social Value. That was literally one of the best nights of my life, and I was so grateful to play drums with them. After that, I still did listen to some hardcore. I didn't really branch out into any new bands. I listened to old school like Warzone, No Redeeming, and actually Everybody Gets Hurt because that's Chris Bananas is my cousin. Um,
Hmm.
but I still listen to Metallica, Iron Maiden, all these old stuff too. And then I met George in middle school, and then we kept saying every day, we want to jam, because he played guitar. And then we're like, oh yeah, sure. So he came over. I told him we just played like Whiplash, Metallica, and then all went from there. And then he's wrote a riff in school, and then we played in our little in a little room in our school that had like some drums and bass, like some good guitar amps. And he wrote a riff, and that's actually our song Siren, that
Yeah,
you featured on. So that was
good
that was,
song.
yeah, that was
It
the
is a
song.
great, no, it is a great song though. It's an energetic song. So
Yeah,
Siren was the first song you wrote, which we'll get into
Siren's
in
the
the
first
EP.
song. Yep.
Wow, wow, that's cool. George, what about you, man?
Yeah, I started out kind of the same as Wes. I was listening to more like old thrash music, and one day I have tickets for this Metallica show, and the guy who was coming with me like dropped off, and I go to Wes because I remembered, oh, this kid's wearing Iron Maiden shirts in the hallways at school. We're in percussion together. I'm like, hey, dude, you want to go see Metallica with me? And he's like, yeah, sure. So we go and we have a great time, and we're like, you know what? Let's finally do what we've been saying we're gonna do. Let's go jam in your basement one time.
Yeah.
And
It just all went from there. And then we
yeah.
just
He took me to a
keep going.
show. We saw Life of Agony and Painted Truth
Sick of it all.
and Sick of It All. Yeah, yeah, at the Knockdown Center. And that was my first introduction to hardcore.
And
I
then
was
from there, we just said, okay, we want to actually do this now,
yeah,
because
I just
saw
locked
the
it in
energy
there.
there. Crazy.
Yeah,
All right.
so I'm in school one day and I'm like thinking of riffs on GarageBand on my phone, and that's how I wrote Siren. I go to him after school. I'm like, yo, let's go into the practice room. I got something I gotta show you. And then yeah, Siren just kind of bloomed from there. It was awesome.
That's awesome. So it sounds like Deadshot really started with you two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
that was
did.
it.
They did.
Now, was the rest
The
of the
two
members when you
members
started putting it together, were they also within your community, or just because you started going to shows, obviously you're meeting people, you kind of connected with them through that way?
The first person we met yeah.
it was Yaffa.
So we
Yeah.
first was, yeah, is a great guitarist named Yaffa, and we actually went to Guitar Center to hang up a poster saying looking for a guitarist, looking for a singer,
Bassist too.
and actually a bassist. Um, and we saw her poster saying looking for a band to play guitar in, right? And so we called her up. We're like, uh, you want to come jam with us?
Damn
And
Ash,
then,
right?
oh yeah,
Sam
it was
Ash.
Sam Ash, yeah. But yeah, we just kind of looked for people, and we just posted on our story a bunch. I think we boosted one of our stories so we can get out to more people.
Hmm.
And our oldest singer, Nico, reached out to us and said, "You guys are so dope. Um, can I jam with you guys?" He sent us like a SoundCloud of him singing, and he came over. It's just we met people at shows too. We also met Jonah because he's my cousin. We met him at the Breed show. Keen, our guitarist now. Um,
He reached out to us.
yeah,
He's
he
a
reached to us.
professional.
Yeah, professional.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, that's it. Just went from there, honestly. And we went through a lot of members. And yeah, obviously now we're trying to look for a bassist.
Third
So
base, right?
Right
So
now,
go ahead, George. Sorry, bud. Go ahead.
right now what's left is me, Wes, and Kian. And Kian's got a new system that we're testing out, which he uses one of these little Boss looper pedals, and he's got a kill switch so he can play through two amps at the same time and then cut one off. So it sounds like there's
it
one
sounds more
guitar.
full.
Yeah,
So we
so
don't need two guitars now.
yeah,
So we
Right.
just it's just the 2 amps.
yeah,
But yeah,
that's the
that's
system
basically
we're using currently.
Right. Oh, awesome. So, and obviously, you guys started with, I was kind of this same really kind of path was metal for me. I mean, glam rock for me when I was in third and fourth grade. And then little by little is metal. And I trained into Life Agony, Biohazard, and then just the hardcore scene. So, you guys ended up getting into the scene. You talked about that show at the Knockdown Center. I think Outburst played that as well.
yeah.
Oh yeah,
did.
that was
So, from there, what happened? You just started, obviously, just started exploring different bands.
Yep.
Yeah, just what are you going on social media? Or are you just getting stuff, buying things? How did that kind of come about?
there's a thing I used to do where I'd go to whatever band I was listening to and see what shows they played recently and just listen to everybody on the bill. It took me longer than I'd like to admit to get into Pain of Truth, but this kid got into it right away after that show. He was showing me.
Yeah.
We
Mhm.
covered the test at our first show that we ever played. Yeah, like but yeah, no, I just went and I listened to a lot of the older stuff first. I kind of like worked backwards.
Yeah, I just went to like a old school hardcore playlist on Spotify and just went through that entire thing. And I was like, and then I went to Instagram and then I looked up these bands, I followed them. I looked at who did they follow? And I looked at that and I just kind of expanding my view on all the hardcore bands that are out right now. Like the
Yeah.
new
That's the way to do it. And that's the best part of it through social media and these platforms now. You have the ability to listen to all these bands where for me, I'm going to age myself, but back when I was getting into it, you didn't have that. You had to have a tape in hand or vinyl or all that, which is great. But the ability to just listen to everything right now and hear different bands, it's just so much out there. It's awesome. So, that's exactly what you guys did. And it obviously led to all the music that you're listening to today. So talking a little bit about you guys, and then we're going to get into the EP. That this is your first release. I know a lot of bands that have released a first release, and the sound is good, the quality is excellent, it's tight sounding, and it's good. It's good music, straight to the point. It's heavy, it's metallic. You got some fast stuff, which we'll talk about. But what's your process in writing songs? Because from West, I remember, and George, I was talking to you guys the partner show a month or two ago, and you're talking about we're writing material. So what's your process in writing songs?
So I like I think like a couple months ago actually I started getting into guitar. And I was just fiddling around with it because like we were kind of at a writer's block one day, like we just can't think of anything. And then I just started writing riffs and I just brought those to rehearsal. Uh, George built off of them with his vocals. Um, and Kian added on with the guitar because he's infinitely better than me at guitar. So I just brought some basic riffs and then we just did it like that. Yeah, George, did you ever build songs off of lyrics or
Um, I usually have the lyrics come afterwards. I usually build, well, like I'll have an idea for lyrics and then I'll kind of just bloom the idea with whatever the song sounds like so I can fit them right, you know. When still play guitar in the band, I used to do pretty much what Wes did, just something random would come to my brain. I do garage band like I did in school that one day and I just like record it to him and send it to him.
he wrote Bomb and obviously No Siren on guitar and we actually wrote Clown Shit in the basement and we were just okay, what is this song gonna be like? I'm gonna say like
Mm.
fast hardcore punk, and that's what we're gonna
Yeah.
do. Then Keen played some random riff, and I was like, okay, that's it. And then I just put drums on it. He already had lyrics for it. Actually,
Yeah.
he came up with them in school. Um, yeah, and he just put them over that, and that was clown shit. Um, and we just tweaked a lot of the songs. We tweaked Deep Down. I remember it was a completely different song.
Oh yeah, we played it at we played it at Kansas City at that Heavy Head show. It was like night and day compared to what it is now.
Yeah, we just like to tweak songs that are we try to find we like before now we try to find a specific style to us and and I think we found it and we try to base it off of that and that's why we tweak a lot of our songs. But most of the writing besides some riffs and stuff happens in the basement with everybody involved.
Yeah, we all
Right. So it sounds like a collaborative
Yes.
approach. It sounds like it comes from the core of you two guys, and then the others come in, and then you enhance it and incorporate it. And in some cases, you have to tweak it. You know what I mean? And sometimes that's unexpected. So which makes sense. How would you describe your sound? Because you have when we get into this with not a shot sounds different than clown shit, like clown shit. Like they're completely different styles, but it sounds like Deadshot. So why don't you talk a little bit about your sound? And do you guys, with that question, along with it, do you guys have a sound you're trying, not trying, but a sound that you would like to have? Or is you just what comes out and writes or what you're listening to at the moment that helps?
Yeah, for our sound on the EP, it was pretty much just like that portion of songwriting was just kind of the search for what we wanted to be. Like we went back and forth from like heavy stuff like Not a Shot, which was definitely inspired by the new age, like Pain of Truth and Tsunami and all of that, to clown shit, which was old school, fast, beat down, like all of that. And like we experimented just through all that and we kind of figured out what we wanted. Like in the end, since Deep Down was the song we wrote most recently, it's just all about groove. Like we want to have
Mm.
a kind of groovy sound, but then also keep it heavy with like a cool breakdown and all
Yeah,
that.
every song in the EP is completely different,
Hmm.
and as he said, we're just testing out what we wanted to do, and I think now our sound mostly directs to Bomb and Deep Down, which has a groove, as he said, and we want to have catchy stuff that
Yeah.
people remember, and not just beat down stuff. We have some beat down parts in our songs, but we don't want the whole song to be beat down because, in my opinion, that's kind of boring to
Yeah,
people.
it's a little overdone as well, man.
Yeah.
Like it's like it's hard to make it sound good and original, but like it's still cool. Like hearing a
Yeah.
beatdown song is still fun, but like it's hard to make it sound original.
If
So
ever grew,
trying to
people are
do.
gonna be like, "Oh shit! Like this is like really catchy," and they're
Yeah.
gonna catch on to what we're doing. And um, yeah, that's basically it. We just want to groove in our stuff.
Hmm.
That's great. And it sounds like you mentioned a few. What are some influences you guys have? And obviously you started in metal, so it obviously it's hardcore here, but
Yeah.
it could be a bunch of anything in terms of how you go about structuring a song, the sound, lyrically. What are some influences you guys have in
Um,
terms of writing your music?
so I actually started listening to Turnstile definitely like 3 years ago, but I stopped. I just got kind of because I only listened to their newest album from 2021 go on. Um, but I listened to Daniel Fang, and I always liked the groove that he had, and like how he did stuff on the hi hat and just different parts of the drums that just filled the entire song. Um, and yeah, I like Pain of Truth drummer Nick Barker. He has some fast double pedal and Machine Gun Benny. Um, it's just all about. I kind of like the groove and the fills in all the songs that just complete the song and just not make it boring and like kind of
Mhm.
lighten it up a little bit. Yeah.
For me, like lyrical inspiration definitely could could track from like I'd say how Brendan wrote some of the stuff on Turnstile as well, like the older stuff. Uh, could be some backtrack in there also, like for some of the heavier, faster stuff. But then also like the way I want my vocals to kind of come across definitely stems from Pain of Truth and like Gridiron, like some of these more kind of rap influenced
Mhm.
bands. like and like older rap, especially for me, like Wu-Tang Clan and stuff, like that's definitely helping me like find that style. I just want to have clear vocals, not super heavy. Maybe like
You know, like a screamy, kind of like
yeah,
a I don't even know how to
just
explain
more
it.
clear.
Yeah, more
Yeah.
clear, rappy kind of vocals.
Yeah, but then every once in a while, like if you heard us live recently, like I'll throw one of Justice's from Trapped Under Ice, like his little growls into there because it sounds good to fill in some empty space or some ad libs or whatever. You know, that's mostly the style I want to be influenced by.
Yeah, and you hear it. And what's great about what I'm hearing from what you're saying here, Wes, particularly with the drums, very talented, obviously,
Thank you.
but you don't try to overdo it.
Yeah.
Um, you 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 bring out the music within the riff and in the fast part, which is great. And George, what you're describing with your vocals is look what you're talking. You've mentioned 4 or 5 different bands from within the scene, and then Wu Tang hip hop back when I was younger, which is awesome. So it's bringing all those things in and then making it your own, which you guys did with Not a Shot. So I want to talk about Not a Shot. That came out in November, and I know now it's also available on CD as well. So let's talk. We did kind of talk each song, but let's first start with the story behind what made you decide to make it called Not a Shot.
Hmm. Okay. So I think we just had our song, Not a Shot. We were gonna call it. What were we gonna call it?
Gavin was gonna call it Limelight,
Yeah, he was gonna call it Limelight. Um,
like
that
the
song, Not a Shot's about just I think our old singer wrote about how like a lot of people are in the spotlight
yeah.
and
You should always stick by like your brothers, your family. Like that's
yeah.
definitely what the lyrics are about.
So yeah, we tried to put that on our album to have a not a shot, meaning have a like you don't have a shot in life. Uh,
Mhm.
but honestly, we just like slapped that name on there. There's like
Yeah, there
really
was
no
during school,
different.
during band, he texts us on our group chat and he's like, I think we're gonna call this song Limelight. I'm like, dude, that's a Rush song. People wanna people wanna look us up and they see that there's like they're not gonna find it. There's like a ton of different versions of that song out there. So I was
Yeah,
like, let's do something original, has shot in it. So we're thinking, we're like, oh yeah, you don't got a shot in life, not a shot.
yeah,
Boom.
and then not a shot, dead shot. It kind of like I mean, it doesn't rhyme, but it
It's
sounds
got that
good.
same,
Yeah, it
yeah.
sounds good.
But it connects with the it connects with the
Yeah.
band. So
Mhm.
um, that's cool. So and like with that song, because I want to go song to song here. Musically, it's like straight to the point. It's got the riff at the ending, and even when you jump and when you kick in George with it, it's catchy. And I
Yeah.
hear that gridiron kind of sound, in the beginning of it, which is what you do over it, and it flows well with the beginning. So let's talk a little bit about that part of it, musically
Yeah,
and
definitely was inspired by Tsunami and Gridiron.
Mhm.
Our old singer wrote the lyrics, um, and I don't really know what they mean, honestly.
I don't think he knew what they meant either, to be
Yeah, they don't
honest.
really have that much meaning to them. Some parts do, like
Yeah.
"Stay in Our Prime," like by your brothers and stuff
Leonardo's
like
Day.
that.
Yeah, like he admitted to us that he wrote some of the lyrics just out of nowhere.
Mindlessly,
Yeah.
yeah. Um,
mhm.
You know, like when I'm
yeah,
writing lyrics now, I try to give the whole song like a plot and a point to like have a meaning behind it. So people are looking at the lyrics, they're like, oh, I understand what this is about.
yeah. We have so
Mhm.
many playlists on Spotify, and we just go through them and like, okay, this part's cool. Maybe we'll use that, not copy it. Maybe
Just
like,
the certain style that it has. Like we could
yeah,
think of a groove. Like yesterday we had rehearsal and we heard like a part of a song we were covering and we're like, what if we made a song kind of in that same style? Like
yeah. And we wrote a riff for it, and that's first half of the song.
yeah, where it
So.
started.
And we're just trying to be inspired off of people that have done it and done it well.
Mm-hmm.
Right,
So
and then you build on it from there, right? So
exactly.
Exactly.
that's
Mhm.
cool, right? Siren, which is selfishly my personal favorite. No, but Siren, it is a great song. So talk about that one. Same thing musically, lyrically, and placement of vocals over everything and all that. Go ahead.
That one was like the first song because we actually had a different sound for Siren in the beginning. If you saw us on the video at Civ when he brought us up to play, we had Siren and it was a fast like
It was double time.
it
It
was
was like
double
the
time.
speed of clown shit, but
Yeah. and it was
for that.
all like speed picking. It was like speed picking like that.
And we changed that, and we changed the
The
lyrics
lyrics,
of it,
yeah.
and we changed the breakdown. So basically, that entire song changed.
It totally changed from the beginning.
Different. Yeah,
Yeah,
lyrical
yeah.
inspiration for that was like, we were kind of getting made fun of in school at the time for what we did. So it was like, we're not looked at the same. We're not here for the fame. Like we're
Hmm.
supposed to have fun to project our
Yeah.
sound and our music.
And
And
we were trying to not make it corny, but we're trying to get a message across because we were getting made fun of in school
yeah,
for it.
Yeah, and it is sometimes with this style of music. Typically, you don't see in a lot of high schools, like like within schools and stuff. You just don't typically. So it just seems like when someone's into this style of music, not knowing it, people think a little bit differently of it, which is unfortunate, obviously. But those lyrics were you mentioned some. I think George, Wes. You just said they're not. It comes across within the lyrics, especially in the "We Are Not Looked at the Same" piece of it, which I guess I'll call the chorus part of the song. So that song came home, hit hard, and at the ending of that song, breakdown hits hard as well.
Oh, thank you so
yeah,
much.
Bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that was just like he wrote the riff, um, and Gavin wrote the lyrics, and I don't.
those ones. Yeah, those didn't make too much sense. The lyrics, like, I think it's
I think he was just trying to fill the space with words.
yeah,
But it's definitely one of my favorite songs that we play.
yeah,
I like the speed and I like the slow down. And I like the little bass break.
yeah.
Um, or actually, our old bassist John Murphy. Um,
He wrote that part.
yeah,
We
he
were
wrote the
down
bass
here,
part
like the song was 90% done, and we're like, we need a spot to fill in space. And he's like, oh, what if we just do the
and he just played something. And I was like,
yeah,
okay, fine, sure.
That's
Uh,
cool. Sometimes that's the best stuff, right? That
yeah,
comes across. Clown shit.
yeah, clown shit. Definitely going for that older like Minor Threat sound, like
yeah,
Bad Brain sound.
Warzone,
Yeah, like
Gorilla
just
Biscuits.
way just like right into it really fast. And then there's that just two-step break, and it's really awesome to have some kind of
Mm.
call out in the like that part.
Mhm.
It's like a lot of fun.
And then just goes into a nice breakdown um, that I think Kian wrote.
Yeah, I
That
think you're
was
right.
that was great. And then we just go back to the fast part. We were actually thinking of expanding that song like a little more, maybe like 2 minutes. Where like, we don't need it. It's a minute song.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's
it's
all we
like
need.
yeah, it's just one of those like not really to take up space, but it's just like it gets the point across right there. That was the one I wrote. It's just like don't be a clown, don't conform, just do what
Mhm.
you want to do.
We like to keep the songs under like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
Like I think people like to listen to shorter songs and longer songs, but that I don't know. I'm
yeah,
just
that's
like
also
trying to
my
say,
opinion.
especially
I would agree. I would agree. I think people have a specific, like a certain attention span. I guess maybe I'm speaking about myself. And I agree. In some songs, like you're describing with this one, some songs are like right to the point, short, and right to the point, and doesn't need that extension to it or repeated parts that you guys were talking about.
mm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Then we'll end with Deep Down.
Yeah, that song was about actually our singer's dad, I mean our singer's life with his dad and how his life affected him. And you can see in like deep down I feel, don't know what's real. He wrote those because he was confused and was just saddened because um he
Of
just had
his
a bad upbringing
relationship.
and
Yeah.
the relationship with his father.
Mm,
And honestly, it doesn't always have to be him that had a bad thing. It's all of us that just have some bad things in our life.
Yeah, just
That
some bad relationship or bad experience, and that song could be universally adapted
yeah,
into being like,
anybody could
yeah,
do anything with it.
it's just like a call and response, kind of like, I've dealt with the bad stuff, but now I'm gonna break away and I'm gonna make my life better, and that's like my decision to do so. That song,
That song was inspired by Step to Rhythm
oh yeah,
by
mm.
Turnstile, as you can tell by
the ending.
the ending where we just stop and then we play the breakdown. And I heard that Step to Rhythm, like wow, that would be really cool if we did that.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
We're in the car at the same time. I was like, what if we just did that
yeah,
at the end of this new song?
yeah, but that's definitely my favorite song from that album.
Yeah, that's cool. That's a good song. It's catchy too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's catchy. So what is your favorites? If you had to pick one song on the album that you love, what's your favorite song?
I'd probably say
On
deep.
the EP, I apologize.
I'd probably
Yeah.
say deep down. What about you?
For me, it would probably be Not a Shot, because when we were recording it, like in the studio, when we were re-recording it, like that sample in the middle, the Keep Your Friends Close sample,
Mhm.
I was looking the entire time. I was like, what was a good movie clip that should go there? Because it needed to fill space. And I found it. I'm like, oh my God, it's the one. Where should it is? And I feel like that part kind of hits. And I think that was a cool thing. I also just like the rapping aspect on there.
Yeah, it was fun for me to record deep down. I kind of like grooving on the hi-hat and the snare.
Yeah.
I find it fun. Um, and then obviously the breakdown at the end, that's really fun to play.
Yeah, it's a great way to end the EP. And again, as we're talking here, it just sounds core of you two, but a collaborative approach with the rest of the band in terms of putting it together, which is great. So it's on 51st State,
Mhm.
right? How did that come about? Connecting and getting your first release put out.
Yeah. So this that actually started when Joey saw us at Civ. He was at that Civ show and he saw that we got up on the stage. I'm pretty sure he was looking for us afterwards, but I think we like immediately left.
We didn't really, yeah, we didn't really know him.
Yeah, we didn't
like, at
know him that
all.
well. We went to one Koyo show before then collectively.
Oh yeah.
Kian was the only one who really knew Koyo that well, and he wasn't there. So, and then I went to this I Am the Avalanche show at Sand City, and he was there, and we talked outside for a second, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm starting up this new label. It's called 51st State Records. I'd love to have you guys on there. I saw you guys at Civ. It was like you had a great energy. I really want to release that with you. Like, we love Koyo, we love Long Island. We definitely wanted to work that out, and it took some time, and we got the EP fully recorded. And after like a few weeks of planning it out, we got that release done. We got CDs available at 51ststaterecords.com, and everything just turned out pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. What's I love about that label is, like I mentioned in the beginning of the intro for you guys, it's Long Island based, basically, essentially, and it's all the newer crop of bands. And there's some that are 5 years old, obviously, with it. But what I'm talking in the last 5 years or so, or even a little less than that, putting them out. That's keeping Long Island running today. So that's what's great about that. I wanted to actually talk about that Civ show, a Shelter show. How did that come about? Did you know that was happening, or you guys were there and then?
um, yeah, so Civ just invited us up on stage to dance,
Yeah, he
right?
said he needs some backup
How did
dancers.
that happen? Where were you guys on the side of the
We
stage?
were
Or
we were literally
We were up front.
we were up front, yeah.
We like for the
We
for,
knew
for the week before.
we know every
We
single
listened,
song.
yeah, we listened to Set Your Goals probably like
that is a
4.
great album,
That
Yeah.
is an amazing
which is
album.
almost like the follow up in a way to Start Today. In a way, I look at it that way, and it's a great album.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Um,
excellent. So
Mm.
he's like looking and he's like, "Oh, I need some backup dancers for this next song."
and pointing to me.
He pointed to you, and then we all get up there. So it's me, Gavin, Wes, and Jonah. We all get up there. It was Jonah's first practice earlier that day. So we were like, we give him a sticker after he
Jonah
starts the
just
song.
say, I want to give him a sticker, and just gives him a sticker.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, you guys a band? Like,
Like,
yeah,
it's
we
like,
are.
this is all of you? And you're like, yeah.
Yeah, because we didn't have our
We didn't-
guitars, but
yeah.
it's good enough.
It was 4-piece. We could handle it.
You guys want to play a song after us?
And if you look on any of the videos, we all start freaking out after he asked that. And
At first, I thought he was joking.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that. That's just like it's a funny
a
joke to
gag.
make. Yeah. But then I was like, oh, he actually might be serious.
So like, what song do we know? What song do all 4 of us know
What
here?
song did Jonah learn today?
It
Because
was-
that was his first rehearsal with us, and I think he only learned like 2 songs.
Yeah,
So we're like, okay, we can pick Siren.
yeah.
And then we got up. They handed him the instruments. I got the drumsticks. We started the song, and yeah, I think the crowd liked it.
everyone had a good time. I was
yeah.
hearing everyone going back and forth. It was
That was
great.
such a great night.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome.
And completely, obviously unexpected. You're rehearsing with your new band member, and then you're going to a show, and then next thing you know, you're playing 2 songs with the pretty big shows, Civ and Shelter, who are very influential bands. That's awesome. So, quick I just wonder, how is being involved in the hardcore community shaped you as individuals and as a band?
Yeah, being involved in the hardcore community is awesome because, like, especially on the Long Island scene, like every show I'll just go and like I'm like after like getting to meet and get to know all these people, like it just seems like you're going to see your friends or like your distant cousins or whatever you don't get to see that often. Like it's
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I'm making friends everywhere I go with the shows, and I'm just having a good time. And I love the music, and I think I love the moshing. It's just a very good community to be around. That not a lot of people understand. That I'm very grateful to be around such a great community and great friends that are in so many bands.
Yeah, after our Long Beach Brewery show, we didn't know too many people. That was like our first introduction to getting to know the Long Island scene and having us like play with them. And Wes, while we're packing up, he leaves his like how much is it? Like
It's like a $1,000
$1,000 EAD in this case. Like
a computer and like a drum module in his
yeah, so
case.
he's got like $2,000 to $3,000 worth of merchandise in that case. And Nate Henshaw, who set up the show and was like part of no, he's in Comeuppance, so they weren't playing that night. But he set up the show. He texts Wes. He's like, "Yo, did you leave this case here?" And they go and they pick it up the next day. Like these
Yeah.
people, we barely knew him at the
Yeah,
time.
we
And they
didn't
just,
know him. Like he could have taken
yeah,
it.
he could have
Like I
pocketed it.
like um
Just a great scene, very supportive people, and we
yeah.
appreciate everyone that we've met and that have helped us.
It really is, and there's an absolute brotherhood to it, you know. So, and I
Exactly.
could speak, and I agree with everything you guys are saying. And it's. I remember going to shows at 15, 16 years old, and you're talking almost 30 years later, and I still have friendships with a lot of these people that I most, and if I don't speak to them when I see them at shows, as if is as if it's 1999 again, and you have that kinship with, and that's the cool thing with you guys is that's going to be the same thing for you guys. Like honestly, with especially with all these new crop of bands that you're playing with, Comeuppance is another one. Like they're another great new band that's coming up, So it's cool. It's cool, and you guys will be having that same relationships with them moving forward. What's the best advice you guys have received?
Oh, I
You
actually
got to go for
yeah.
this one. I'm
So
not sure.
Chris Benedetto is my cousin's. So we were at an EGH show in April at the Kingsland,
Yeah,
and we were giving him a shirt, and he said, "One piece of advice. I'll take this shirt. Stay away from drugs, alcohol, anything that's gonna make your mind go crazy."
yeah,
And
I
that's
was
what he
gonna say
said.
that
Yes.
well. The best advice I think we could have gotten at that point.
Yeah, and that's great advice. Because I know some people that had some struggles with that. So yeah, I'm definitely gonna listen to that advice.
Yeah, we've stayed straight edge for a while now.
Yeah, and
You
that's
know.
we're a straight edge band.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. And you don't label yourselves that way, which is, it's just it's the lifestyle you live, and that's great, and that's great advice that he gave.
yeah,
And what's cool for you guys too is obviously with Dean from No Redeeming and EGH is Chris, your cousin, really influential bands that have been there, done that, in terms of tours, shows, releases, influencing other bands. So to have bands like that in your circle
mm,
is awesome. Is awesome. And you guys obviously have a great head on your shoulders. You guys know what you're doing. You're at every show. Everybody knows you. You're supportive of everyone. But to have those guys on top of that, is absolutely is huge. Moving forward because it'll help you guys each step of the way. Um, one more question, and then we'll get into the rapid fire that I call it. I got to probably think of a better name than that, but we'll get into that's the only thing I could describe it as. But where do you see yourselves individually and as a band in 5 years?
yeah. Individually, I don't think I'm going to go to college for music or stuff like that. I definitely want to keep drums as a like a side job. Like I could be in a hardcore band, but it's like a side thing. I want like a job that can fulfill my life. Fill my life. Yeah, with the band, I hopefully that it goes far. I really want it to. Um, I mean, we just gotta release more music and keep talking to people. I'm not really sure where it's gonna go, honestly. It's just we're just following I guess where the wind takes us,
Yeah, I
honestly.
guess so.
What about you, George?
For me personally, 5 years, I definitely want to travel a lot more before I go to college. Just go see the world a little bit. Um, gonna go to college for business most likely. I want
Yeah,
to
same.
start like a record label or a booking agency because I've seen how it works around here, and I feel like it's gonna be hard work, but it looks like a lot of fun, and I get to stay around the people that I've grown to enjoy, and maybe give kids like us a chance in the future.
Mhm.
Uh, for the band, for me personally, I feel like I've got 2 more years with this kid at least, so I feel like we're gonna
We're trying to
keep
make the best
working.
of it.
Yeah,
We're trying to do everything we can in 2 years. And we'll see what happens.
yeah. If it's going well, then we
Maybe this is not gonna happen. Like
yeah
maybe you're not gonna go to college for business. Maybe something happens where like we take off somewhere, but we just don't know yet, and
yeah.
we're just trying to work towards where we want.
Hmm.
So yeah,
No, that's awesome. And to kind of reflect on what you both said, it's you're obviously looking at individually what you're looking to do personally in terms of school career potentially, but also with the band. I like what you said. You're not and you're everything you want to happen organically. That's really what it is. You're not trying.
I agree.
Obviously, you got to put your name out there and do things. But what I mean is, you're just like whatever happens, happens. And quite honestly, that's why within under a year, you guys have accomplished what you've accomplished. So just keep doing that, because I think that's awesome, and the EP kills, but that's your first release. Just think of the next one and all the other songs. Like you probably with your newer song, the new song's probably like, oh my God, this is better than what we did prior because you keep
yeah.
growing.
We actually
Oh,
said that.
we
Yeah,
say that every
we
practice.
you
For the
literally say that every practice. We have 3 new songs. And we're
yeah,
like, we need to record this. This is better than our entire EP.
yeah. There's
So
like
we're
one
definitely
or
gonna
three.
record soon.
Yeah, we got three new releases on the horizon. Hopefully, we got our newest and our favorite, well, my favorite song, "Content," which was the first one we wrote after,
The
like
EP?
after
EP.
the EP was the first one we wrote. Then we got this more. It's faster, but it breaks into a
Groove.
groove.
Mm.
It's called "No Use." I'm pretty sure you were there when we debuted it at Still Partners.
A couple months ago. Yep, that was a good one.
And then the newest one we have is Faith or Fear. It's this like whole
Bass, funky. I
just
don't know.
whole
Yeah.
groove. Like there's not many other words you can describe like the groove that we're feeling with these newer songs.
Yeah. But we might just either record 1 or 3.
You release them like periodically, you
Yeah.
know?
And that's the great thing now too. Is just you don't need to have a combination of songs. You could do that. You could just put a single out. You could just put that out yourselves. There's so many different ways of doing it. But there's nothing more exciting. I remember that you write a new song and you go out and you're playing it. So cool. So hopefully this year at some point, maybe you guys release something new.
Definitely. It might be before the summer,
Yeah,
thinking.
hopefully.
Awesome. Great. All right. I guess we'll end off here with some quick rapid fire questions. I don't care who goes first, but I'll give you guys a question and just first thing that comes to mind. So, top three favorite albums of all time. Don't have to be all hardcore.
Okay. Definitely Step to Rhythm, Turnstile. Not Through Blood, Pain of Truth.
Hmm.
And let's see. Um, I guess that's hard.
Yeah.
I guess Set Your Goals, Civ, actually. That's literally one of my favorite albums of all
Yeah.
time. Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Right now, like it shifts. There's no like placeholder that's gonna stay there the whole time. I think Pressure to Succeed by Turnstile is up there. Um, the Laid to Rest album I liked recently. Like that was like I've been listening to that one for weeks.
Oh yeah.
And then I think Your Favorite Weapon by Brand New. It's like really growing on me recently.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. And then when we get off, or when this comes out, you're like, no, this is actually my three favorite albums. Yeah, but at that time. Favorite show you played as a band?
Favorite show. Um, let's see. I'd probably say the Fury of Five show,
Oh, that was a good one.
August 18th. Yeah, August 18th at the Bowery Electric. that was such a fun show, and meeting Fury of Five, that was just a great time in general.
Yeah. If the Civ one doesn't count, but
It
like
counts. You guys were up there. You played.
yeah, well then other than that one would probably be the shelter show we played at AMH.
Mm.
That was like my first time like really singing. The two before that were planned with Gavin, so I didn't really have much time to prepare. So I
He
like
worked at it very hard,
yeah,
for the
Mm.
shelter show.
I think I
And
came over here every day for a week until I had like the sound we were looking for, and then it just kind of worked out, and that was a really fun one.
that was a great
The
show.
dudes from Standstill came out to support us. It was a great time.
Cool. Awesome. Favorite show you went to?
Show went to.
Wow.
Wow, that's hard.
Oh, it's impossible, but that's why I'm asking
Yeah, yeah, well,
it.
I think Everybody Gets Hurt. The Kingsland.
the Kingsland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely my favorite show. It's like we're kind of early in our band, and I was like fully seeing like what Everybody Gets Hurt was about. I didn't think it was gonna be that violent.
yeah.
I was in for a surprise. I saw wow, it was crazy. But yeah, that was a great show, and we were on the stage, so I didn't die. Yeah, and then we sung in the mic for Goon Squad, and that was such a great time.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is that Pain of Truth show at AMH, like the first time, like there were a few Pain of Truth shows, but I feel like the one that they did with Speed,
Oh,
like
Last summer, right?
yeah, that
Yeah.
one in summer. We got the tickets like the second it hit MTG.com, and we went up. We got to do the ending of the test. He lets us go up there all the time. It's either that one or I'm gonna cheat here, but I think the Pain of Truth show at on Halloween at the Brooklyn, was it the Monarch?
yeah, he went up and sang.
Yeah, I did
Awesome.
After Blood. I
After
did a
Blood.
feature on there. It was a lot of fun.
That's great. Yeah, that Pain of Truth speed show, we were rehearsing in Farmingdale that night. I'm like, oh, I'll come after.
Oh yeah, I remember you
Yeah.
telling me that.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I got there and everybody was loading everything out. It was great. So I didn't get to see I didn't get to see it, but yeah, I heard that show was awesome. And I love speed too. So that would have
So
maybe
great.
next time at some point. The the band what was the last band you listened to?
Last
Ooh.
band. Last band I listened to. That's hard. I
Like just now?
Yeah,
Uh,
just literally the last music you listened to.
does it have to be hardcore?
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
I all I've been listening to for a while is Zach Bryan.
Zach Bryan, yeah.
Zach Bryan.
Cool.
And I listen to old school. Actually the last thing I listened to is Eazy-E.
Yeah.
I'm getting into old school rap now, hip hop.
Yeah, it's great. That
So,
era of rap, hip hop is incredible.
I
George,
was yeah, I was just driving over here. I listened to some Wu-Tang, but then like right before that was just some modern baseball. Like I like that old Midwest sound, and then also old rap is great.
awesome. Awesome. Playing a show or writing music?
um,
Like what would we rather do?
Yeah.
hmm,
Oh, for
wow.
me, definitely playing a show, just because it like writing music, it definitely gets some emotions out onto the paper and whatever. But when you're playing the music, like you physically feel whatever worry or regret or stress just like leave you, and
Mhm.
it's awesome. Just every movement you have, every like it's just awesome. I'd rather be playing shows.
I love writing music, but as George said, there's no better feeling than getting on stage and playing your own original music to people that never heard your band before.
Mhm,
That's just
for
great.
sure.
Yeah.
You guys both kind of answered it, but I'm going to keep it in here. So, Turnstile, nonstop feeling or time and space?
Ooh,
Wow,
Jesus Christ.
that's hard. I'm gonna say Nonstop Feeling because I like Time and Space, but I've listened to Nonstop Feeling so many more times.
Mhm.
I have to say the same. I got you into nonstop feeling.
Yeah.
When we last year, almost exactly a year ago, we went on a music trip with our school, and we had like the Spotify like queue, the shared queue when we were on the bus ride up there. And I put on a song off of Nonstop Feeling. He's like, "What is this?" And I'm like, "This is
I
older
didn't I didn't
Turnstile."
like it. I
He
didn't
didn't
like it
like
at
it at
first.
all. And then
Oh.
he started listening to it more over the span of the trip. And when we got back, that was his most played album. Like,
Yeah.
That was
like,
it. Yeah, two
Yeah.
great albums. Your favorite release of 2024?
Um,
Could be EP, singles, doesn't matter.
uh,
I got one. I got All You Embrace by One Step Closer. I think that was a great release.
Mhm.
Went into the city one day to go see them at Rough Trade Records, which was a fun trip and it was a great show.
um, Probably NYC Shootout.
Oh yeah, Hustle
The
Continues.
hustle continues.
I-
That's such a great album. I haven't.
That was my
I
second.
listened to it actually only this year, 2025. I didn't really listen to it that much
Yeah.
last year. I mean, I listened to some, but now I'm really getting into it, and I'm pissed at myself that I didn't listen to it in 2024.
That
Uh,
happens sometimes. Things you like 6, 7 months later, you catch on to things a little bit after they come out. You're like, they're there, but eventually you get to it. Pain of Truth's full length or their EP or their EP?
I think for
um,
me personally, I think the full length. I think there's a lot more a lot more variety, like
Mhm.
some slower stuff, some of that faster, like double time. I love No Blame Just Facts, but like the LP was like that was a great work, you know.
I love the EP actually
Mhm.
better than the album.
Yeah.
No Blame Just Facts. I love that entire EP. I can listen to that so many times. Every song on there is
Yeah.
catchy. It's
They
just
lead right into
so
one another
yeah,
too.
so good. So yeah, I definitely like the EP better.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Heavy hardcore or melodic hardcore?
Heavy hardcore,
Jesus.
100%.
Mhm.
I have to pick one. I like both. Like every week for me. Like I'll be listening to whatever. I'll be listening to Out of Pocket, Lay the Rest one week, and then the next week I'll be listening to Koyo and like One Step Closer. It's like a difficult choice.
Right, switching it up. A band you like that may surprise people. It doesn't have to be hardcore.
Yeah, I think Brand New would definitely be that band. Like
Mhm.
they're more pop punk, but I've really just been getting into that first album recently. I think they're really good. Wish I could have seen them in 2001 or whatever.
Um, I'd probably say Elvis.
Mhm.
Um, I mean, it's obviously very different from what I play on drums. Um, but Maya got me into that. And she's a huge Elvis fan. Um, so yeah, I just got into that and a while ago actually. It was probably my favorite artist ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I just love that old school feeling when I listen to him.
Awesome. One last one. Uh, your Mount Rushmore, top four hardcore bands of all time.
Can I go first?
You're giving yourself time to think.
Yes.
Huh.
I do that, by the way, when we have conversation interviews, and I'm with my guitarist Anthony. I always let him go first on these as well, so I can literally think of what I have to say for this stuff.
Let me think. Um, Sid up there. Sid definitely influenced a lot of the sound that we're hearing today. Gorilla Biscuits also. I think those are two very different sides of the same coin, but like they both influence different bands I'm listening to. Uh, wow. Probably for more modern takes, I think Backtrack is definitely has some like defining sound in
Yeah.
modern sport. And then wow, huh?
Let's say no redeeming social value.
No Redeeming Social Value.
100%. You
You
always
know
listen to
what?
that album.
I listened to that album like every month I have to come back and listen to
Which one?
I think I just like shift back and forth. I like
Rocks the Party.
yeah, no, Rockstar.
Mhm. Rocks the Party is awesome.
Yeah, awesome. Just like switching back and forth from like every song.
Yeah, no,
Mhm.
I just go and make a playlist of the ones I think are like the heaviest and the ones I think are the funniest. Just because I like to listen to them and laugh.
Wasted for Life.
Wasted for Life.
Actually, Wasted for Life is probably my favorite
Yeah.
um of
Wasted for
theirs
Life is great.
of No Redeeming Social Value. I listened to that the day it came out. So
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I think definitely 100%. I don't know if it counts. Turnstile. I'm gonna call it
It
hardcore.
counts.
Yeah, old. Definitely.
Cool stuff. Definitely.
Turnstile, definitely Pain of Truth. Very inspiring to our band and me bass. It's like a combination. Our band's like a combination of Turnstile and Pain of Truth.
Yeah, that's definitely
Heavy mixed with groove. Definitely Everybody Gets Hurt. 100%. And last one, that's hard.
Biohazard, maybe.
Yeah, either Biohazard or does Rancid count? Or actually, Hatebreed.
Hatebreed.
Yeah,
Hatebreed's
it's gotta be
huge.
Hatebreed.
This
Hatebreed's
is what
definitely
happens
my
when you
favorite.
make me go first.
Yeah, Hatebreed's
Awesome, guys. So before we wrap it up here, anything you want to end with? I know you're obviously getting some shows and potential releases. Anything you want to end off with here?
Wanted to thank John Arbuckle from Cove City Sound Studios for making the EP sound as crisp and as tight as it possibly could. Thank you, Joey from 51st State Records and Koyo.
And thank you everybody that's been supporting us since day one. We've talked to so many people, we made so many good friends,
Yeah.
and we're just grateful to be in this community.
Yeah,
And
we love you all.
yeah, I'm just grateful for that. And that's basically
Yeah.
it.
Nah, it's awesome. You could see it, and looking forward to eventually us getting on a show, playing a show together. So, but
Hopefully, okay.
all right, cool. Hang tight. Let me just wrap up here, and then we'll talk after. Thank you for listening to the What Lies Ahead podcast, which is available on all streaming platforms. For more information on future episodes, you can go to my Instagram account and follow at What Lies Ahead _podcast, and on Facebook by searching What Lies Ahead podcast. See you on the next episode.